You spoke about this idea that some people will recommend rest, like rest for 6 weeks. Does that increase the risk for adhesions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have. And I try to change mindset as much as I can with our team here, but it's this very antiquated concept that you need to go rest for 6 weeks. And if you haven't rested for long enough, you haven't given enough time, which is just not what happens. And so the problem is one of these dogs that have gone in, let's say they have a disc herniation that's pretty compressive. They're on pain meds that kind of dull it, but they can't get off of pain meds. And now we're seeing them 4 to 6 weeks later, and then the disc is hard to get off. Not that we can't get it off, but like if we'd seen them at 2 weeks, it would have been a lot easier on the dog. So yeah, just trying to kind of change that mindset that if they're not a lot better after 2 weeks, they're not going to be a lot better at 6 weeks,
So what's your recommendation?
So my recommendation would be, if you have a dog that's coming in, you suspect a disc herniation, to try medical management. I'll typically recheck them in a week, because I usually tell people, we can give it 2 weeks. But honestly, if they're not significantly better by a week, chances are they're not going to be a lot better enough to not want to consider at least getting an MRI. The other issue too that we have was that sometimes it's not a disc herniation, right? And so they're getting treated medically as though it's a disc herniation when it's not. Like maybe they've got discospondylitis or, MUO or something like that, and it's getting missed. And so if they're not looking quite a bit better from a functional standpoint and in a pain standpoint, I'm at least recommending recheck. So again, a lot of people, you're going to be limited if they can't afford diagnostics too. So totally, recognize that. But in people who are interested in pursuing advanced diagnostics or neuroconsult, I think sometimes we'll get owners who are frustrated. Like, I would have come to you a month ago, but I was told that I needed to wait 6 weeks. And so just trying to kind of change that concept,